The secondary mirror, or tertiary mirror, that is very accurately planar, it passes on that distortion. But it is possible to actually, in principle, distort the shape of the mirror so it takes out those irregularities that the Earth's atmosphere puts into it. Since we know that distant stars should have very sharp focus, you can use that information to determine what the shape of this mirror should be and
changes in how we view ourselves and our relationship to the universe. Most of you will recognize this image of the Earth taken from the moon. The astronomer Fred Hoyle had predicted that when such a picture first became available, it would have a deep impact on humans. And in fact, much of the environmental movement dates from this time, 1968. They have there are different brightnesses. There are parts where stars are densely packed. There are parts of the sky where it's relatively blank. So in order to bring some order from this chaos, the ancients created the constellations. And in order to provide some explanation of why there were these...
Hello, I'm really honored to be here in Tennessee for the Starmus Festival, and I'd like to thank Garrett and the Starmus organizers for inviting me. And now I'm very honored to announce the Starmus Festival officially open.
Starmus Festival, we have a simultaneous translation. So if they speak Spanish or Russian, there is no problem for all of us. Okay? You want to say no? No, yeah. Well, you want to say 2 words?
I had a chance to say the things that I really wanted to say at the end of my talk. I do think it is important that the scientists communicate discoveries to the public. And I've already explained that. I think it is
token musician on this advisory board. I'm incredibly honoured to be in the company of these incredible scientists. And I've known Garrett for many years, and over that time he's basically never taken my advice. First thing I said when he brought up the subject of combining music and astronomy was, don't do it, Garrett, it'll never work. And I had to take my hat off to him because he's crossed 1,000,000 miles and so many obstacles to get us to this point. So I would just like to say, if I may, a very sincere theoretical and virtual hats off to Garrett Gizradian, because he's the reason that we're all in this room.
At the same time, thank you, большое спасибо.
Thank you very much.
После выдающегося полета
After the amazing flight
на Луну,
to the moon,
человечество приветствовало первый экипаж,
humanity welcomed the first team,
который там побывал.
which was there.
Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin,
Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin,
Майк Коллинз. И на первой же пресс-конференции
at the first press conference,
Нейл Армстронг сказал о Юрии Гагарине.
Neil Armstrong said about Yuri Gagarin.
Он
Carl Sagan. And then
approaching the surface of objects in space, Gene Shoemaker. These are indeed giants that have come along in their time with their inquisitiveness, imagination, and inspiration.
Pieces of the universe that we don't understand. But in our journey to seek the answer to the "Are we alone?" question, about 50 years ago we took a turn and began using some new technologies in radio astronomy. Frank Drake did the first search of 2 stars, Epsilon Eridani and Tau Ceti, for a few hundred hours.
The field of extrasolar planet, and is summarized in these 3 words, many, different, everywhere. So, if you look on a very small piece of the Milky Way, you could have with a telescope such a view. So billions of...
Either had to do it or fail. No one was interested in failing. His challenge raised our spirits. Relight another Saturn V for the propulsion system to do what we call translunar injection. So this is a 5.5-hour world record of spacewalking, 3 different exits, while circling the globe, every mission in the Gemini program. It was November 1966, and we had only 3 years. Neil Armstrong, Mike Collins, and me to be chosen for the crew on this historic Apollo 11 mission. Mankind. The olive branch of peace in the eagle's claws, which Neil was going in first on the left, then Mike Collins on the right, and then I was going in the center. Really slow acceleration. Built up. Within 3 minutes, we were 45 miles high of a standard automobile interior. Without gravity to weigh us down, we had to strap ourselves in. Neil and I entered the lunar landing craft we named Eagle and separated from the command module Columbia, where, what does that mean? We had a little book called the Guidance Navigation Handbook, teleprompter. And partially closed the hatch. Being careful not to lock it on my way out. It struck me. Here we were, and what we were doing had never been done before. A part of me, we weren't supposed to walk in front. Interrupt the sunlight powering it. A reflection of the Eagle spacecraft and Neil in the visor of my helmet. Now, people have asked me, what's so great? Proud that we'd successfully gotten the job done. I'm very proud to salute the flag of my nation as a military person. Is the amazing story of innovation, teamwork, and national determination that went into overcoming the history of mankind. And that feeling of participation has brought together humanity, and that holds a value. $1.99, something like that. But it's got a lot of good information. And with it, I can all of us can reach above and beyond. With the vision, we can choose our course and set our sights on the stars. Thank you very much.
And the cooperation between the United States and the European Space Agency, which was a contributor to the project. We were a little lower, but still a very impressive machine. Go up the elevator, and then on this trailer. Magnificent, really. Release of the telescope, beautiful view of the Terminator here at Christmas. All these hats have been put in a container inside the cabin by the flight controllers. Plus and ignition with a new small solar array that you see here. And I show this picture because all of